Have you ever noticed when life feels heavy, our heads naturally bow, not in prayer, but in weariness. Our shoulders tense, our eyes are down, our heart just is racing. And yet sometimes the most sacred thing we can do isn't to push through, but to look up, to pause, to take one deep, holy breath and remember who's really holding it all together. I'm Dr. Phyllis, your coach, and this is the Own Your Yes podcast. Today, we're talking about what happens when we make the simple yet powerful choice to look up and breathe, not as a sign of giving up or giving in, but a sacred act of releasing control and reconnecting with peace. Wow, this has been a crazy number of weeks. So much so that today's episode and next week's episode is going to focus on some of my experiences and what I learned and what I want to share with you. Wow, as you know, those of you who have been with me along this journey and this podcast, dating back into 2019, God had been trying to get my attention. I can see that in retrospect. Things just didn't seem to be aligned. Things that seemed to be my norm, just I was weighted down. And I thought, okay, am I really I just didn't know what's really was going on, but I kept pushing through. And in 2020, God said, "Hey, you're not listening. I'm trying to get your attention. So let me just yank that cord on that treadmill, that emergency cord, that electrical cord, and just unplug." And I felt hard, real hard. And then I did some deep work, felt I had learned all the lessons. And then the next thing I know, unexpectedly, my mom passed away. And so then I began navigating the loss of my best friend, my heart, my mom, as well as having to move into what I call the junior matriarch role. And then also taking on caregiving duties of a family member that began to increase in what is involved. This superimposed on being a full-time physician, being a wife, being a mom, a volunteer in the community. And from then on, life has just been going. Yet in the midst of it, God has continually put on my heart the calling of women's ministry and wanting to share with women like you. Now, that doesn't mean that life isn't continually crazy. As I said, the past couple weeks, continually navigating this new season, even though Overall, I've retired from full-time medical practice. I'm still doing some work, yet I really have shifted to full-time everything else, caregiving, and while still trying to show up for my husband, for my adulting children, and extended family. And also, as I tell you, try to stay on top of what I need to do for my wellness. But life gets crazy. It simply gets crazy. And the past weeks have been crazy. So much so, there are times when it just seems like everything is swirling. Just when you think you're going to take a break, right? Something else happens. Someone has a question. And if we're not careful, we continually feel like we're in constant motion. And we keep waiting for someone to grant us the ability to take a pause. But I want to tell you, sis, that what I have found is that when life feels out of control, and it does for all of us who are trying to juggle so many things, and we have such big hearts that we're trying to make sure that we meet everyone's needs. The answer isn't to try to tighten your grip and try to have more control or create more control. It's actually to lift your gaze upward. Now, you might say, Dr. Phyllis, what are you talking about? What I have found, sis, is that a great way to ground yourself is to make yourself pause. Just pause for a few moments and look up. Look up to the sky. Look up to the clouds. Look up to the beauty of the nighttime, the stars. I love to, when I can, to be up early enough so I can see where the sky goes from dark to of night to sunlight bursting through when it lightens up. So stop and look up and take a breath. Feel the wind, feel the rain on your face. So, as I said, when life feels crazy and out of control, it's not about trying to create more control or tense up or try to take it all on your shoulders or try to fix it and make it right. You need to take a moment and pause and look upward. Look upward to God. Take yourself out of the moment, the feelings, recenter, lift your gaze. And it's not and to escape, it's to realign yourself, to reground yourself, to reset yourself. It's how we can remember that peace is not the absence of problems, sis. It's the presence of God with us in the middle of all the things that are going on in life. One way I want you to think about this, and it's been real helpful to me and to others that I've talked to about this issue of trying to take a moment is the breath practice, practicing your breath. B is to be still. Pause before reacting to the craziness and the chaos around you. Let your body have a moment to catch up with your spirit, as is discussed in one of my favorite scriptures, Psalm 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. Then R is release control. I know that can be difficult for us high achieving, busy, 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 running around women. I want you to release it and exhale. You need to exhale. You need to exhale to let it out. This illusion of control. Need to let that go. Hand that outcome of everything going on around you to God, because He's the one who's ultimately in control anyway. E is engage your breath. Take one slow, intentional breath. Breath in and let it out. And when you inhale, I want you to inhale grace, which is forgiveness of yourself, acceptance of yourself unconditionally. And then I want you to exhale all the worry because God's got your back. A is to acknowledge God's presence. Remind yourself He is here with you right now. He's with you. If you're at home, if you're in your office, if you're in your car, if you're caring for a loved one, if you're in the doctor's appointment for yourself, or if you're in the gym or the plane, wherever you are, the train, the bus, God is with you. You're not alone. T is thank Him. Gratitude, praising God reorients our heart. Thank Him even before your situation changes. And H is hold peace. Stay in that space a little longer. Don't rush it. When you take your moment, don't rush it. It could be 5 minutes. It could be 10 minutes. Let your next step just flow from calm, not chaos. For that moment, hold the peace. So be still, release control, engage your breath, acknowledge God's presence, thank Him, and hold peace. For this week, I want you to practice one intentional lookup moment each day. So pick one thing that you're going to hold yourself accountable and say, okay, you know what? When I start feeling my heart racing, this is what I'm going to do. Pick one thing, okay? So I want you to intentionally look up. So every day, I want you to pick one thing for the next week, and that's what you're going to do. One thing. That means one moment, one exercise. So if it's before you get out of bed in the morning, okay, I'm going to stop and look up and say, Lord, you got the day. Just give me the strength. And you're going to take that moment before you get out of bed, or maybe you give yourself a moment to step outside and just enjoy the moment, the air. Maybe it's during the day. And you can do this as many times as you need to during the day. Maybe instead of scrolling, which we all do, let's be honest, maybe what you do is you take that moment, put the phone down, put it in your pocket, and you look up. So, one thing I want to leave you with this devotional, sis, of Psalm 121, 1 through 2. And I'm reading from the New King James Version. And I'm reading because I want to make sure I say it correctly. I will lift my eyes to the hills, from whence comes my help. My help comes from the Lord, who made heaven and earth. Sis, when you lift up your eyes, you're not ignoring reality, you're acknowledging a greater, a greater reality and power of God. The next time you feel overwhelmed, don't just look down at your list or around at your circumstances. Look up and breathe. It's not just oxygen you're inhaling, it's grace, it's peace, and the reminder that God's got you. I love you. As I've been telling you, I've been deep, deep, deep in my caregiving role, but I keep you on my heart and in my thoughts often. And I am determined to come and be with you each week to share with you my my journey, what I've learned, and how it is my prayer that I will pass on to you and share so that you too can grow in grace, peace, and purpose, and know that it's never too late to own your yes, to reclaim your identity, to recenter, and pivot into your greatness. And stay tuned, some new things are coming up I'm excited for. So I love you. Do me the favor, please subscribe if you haven't, share this podcast so we can grow our community of high achieving Christian women. And I will see you next week on the Own Your Yes podcast. Bye now.